guys, today we have got a 30-minute runner specific Pilates workout. So we're going to jump straight in. All you're going to need is a mat, and if you've got any niggles or injuries or anything that doesn't feel right, just stop, try and adapt to the exercise. I'll give a few variations for most things, but we are going to jump straight in. So I want you to start with your feet hip width apart, nice flat back, and we're going to take that Pilates posture. So we're scooping our abdominals to our spine, nice long neck, and we're going to breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth and really focus on expanding that rib cage with the inhale. So nice soft knees, that flat back, feet hip width apart, and we're literally just going to start with some nice big shoulder rolls, inhaling through the nose as the shoulders come right up towards the ears, and exhale through the mouth. Good. Scooping the stomach muscles to the spine the whole time, and then just change direction. Just get rid of all the clicks, get the body warmed up for what we're about to do. Good. Just two more this way, and then we're going to take it into some nice big arm circles. Just be aware if one side feels more tight than the other. It's always good to be kind of aware of these imbalances where we might pick up any niggles. So nice and big, really open up through the shoulders and the chest, keeping the stomach muscles activated, and then just change direction. Good. Got one more here, and then take the arms back down to the side. We're going to do some roll downs, so I want you to lead with your chin to your chest, and we're going to roll down the spine one vertebrae at a time till we're completely relaxed at the bottom. I really want you to focus on letting go of the tension in your neck. So your head wants to be nice and heavy, really relax it at the bottom, and take a big inhale and exhale. So let's go down together, drawing the chin to the chest, one vertebrae at a time, rolling through the spine. Don't worry if your knees are bent, if you've got tight hamstrings, which we all probably do from running. Take a big inhale and exhale, and slowly roll back up. The head is the last thing to come back up. Reset ourselves, roll the shoulders, engage the stomach muscles, and we go again. So chin to chest, rolling down that spine, one vertebrae at a time. Let go of all the tension, shake your head around if you need to. Take a big inhale and exhale. I want you to take the right arm up towards the ceiling, rotate that spine so we're really getting into the thoracic spine, and then drop back through the centre, over to the other side. Exhale the rotation and drop back down, and then slowly roll back up, one vertebrae at a time. We're going to get into our Pilates squats. So stance is still hip width apart, but we're still trying to drive those knees over the toes. The hands are going above the head, so again we're just opening up the middle of the spine, getting everything warmed up, and the weight is through the heels. My ankle will probably click as I go back, so please, I'm sorry for that. So keep those shoulders relaxed, send the arms above the head, bum back, weight through the heels, and squeeze at the top. Good. Take it back and squeeze. Good. Shoulders down. Keep the stomach muscles engaged. There's the clicky ankle. These are good just to get the whole body warmed up. Good. We're going to go for two more here. Last one, I want you to hold it at the bottom. Keep the shoulders relaxed. We're just going to pulse. Good. You might notice that the spine feels a bit tight through here. Keep breathing. Last 10 pulses. Keep that chest up. Last 3, 2, 1, and squeeze at the top. Good work. Give yourself a shake, and then come to the back of the mat, and we're going to go into our roll downs again. So once we get to the bottom, we're then going to walk our hands forward into a nice strong high plank position. If you need to drop your knees at any point, that's fine. Just reset yourself and then bring yourself back up. So feet hip width apart. scooping the abdominals to the spine, shoulders back, drop that chin to the chest, rolling down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Take a big inhale and exhale, and then slowly start to walk the hands forward, one at a time, to we're in a nice high plank position. So we've got our wrists underneath our shoulders, we're squeezing the abdominals, pushing the floor away, nice flat back, and we're just holding it in here. Inhale and exhale. Like I said, if you need to drop your knees to the floor at any point, that's absolutely fine. Keep that neck in line with the spine. We've got another 5 seconds here. 3, 2, and then gently drop the knees to the floor. Send the bum back to the heels and just walk those hands forwards. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to come up onto our hands and feet. So we want hands and knees. We want our wrists directly underneath our shoulders and our knees directly underneath our hips. And we've got a nice flat back here, so we could balance anything on it. We could eat our dinner on it without it falling over. So we're basically like a table. I'm going to extend opposite arm to leg. So we've got 2 variations here. If you are quite new to Pilates, you might want to start with just keeping them on the floor, but we're extending the opposite arm and leg away. But the key thing here is to work these lower abdominals and make sure the hip bones are facing the mat, and then control it back in, and then switching sides, and then control it back in. If you feel quite comfortable doing that, we're going to take it off the ground. So the opposite arm and leg extends, really lengthen, and then control back in, and then we switch sides, trying to keep that back really nice and flat, keeping the hip bones facing the mat, and control back in. Good. We're keeping alternating between the different arm and leg, really lengthen. Don't worry about the height of the leg. It's more about keeping those hip bones facing the mat and all about control. Good. And control it back in. One more each side. Keep squeezing and return back in. And other side. And back in. We're going to go back up. So the right arm extends, left leg behind. And we're just going to hold it here. Deep breaths. Take the right arm down. And from this position here, I just want you to some pulses with that leg. So we're moving from the hip joint, so we're getting into that glute. We're not arching the back. That's keeping nice and still, really support the spine with those engaged stomach muscles. And we're just pulsing the leg gently up and down, really small movement, deep breaths, pushing the floor away. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and return that leg back in. Just drop the head and arch the spine. Push the floor away, and then bring that chest up towards the wall. A few more of these just to neutralize the spine. And then take it back to a neutral flat spine, and we're going to go with the left side. So taking that right leg back, left arm, deep breath, hold, and then take the arm down, make sure those hips are facing the mat, and from here we're just pulsing the leg. Keep squeezing the abdominals to keep those hips facing the mat. Neck in line with the spine, try not to look up or down at what your leg's doing. Breathe. We've got another 5. And return that leg back in. From here, I just want you to tuck the toes under. I'm going to lift our knees into a bent leg plank. Again, this is slightly more challenging than a full plank, so if you need to drop your knees at any point and reset yourself, that is absolutely fine, but just lift the knees off, push the floor away, nice flat back, neck in line with the spine, and we're holding it here. Breathe. Last 3, 2, and relax back down, soften the feet, and then send the bum back to the heels, and just walk the hands forward. Take a big deep breath. And then we are going to come back up into that position, working our glutes because we are runners, so we want them to be nice and strong. So we're going to take that left leg back behind us again into a nice straight leg position. It's just going to go down and come back up. So we're really focusing on this pelvis, staying facing towards the mat. We're just lifting and lowering. Good. Lifting it high enough just to feel it in that glute, but really challenging the full body to keep it nice and controlled, keeping the hip bones facing the mat. Good, I'll keep saying the same things. You need to remember to breathe, engage the abdominals, and really support that spine. Good. Got 3 more here. Last one, we're going to hold, deep breaths, and then control back in. We're going to go straight with the other leg, so right leg extend behind us, make sure those hip bones facing down, and then lift. So we go up and control back down. Good. Really lengthen that leg. Keep the neck in line with the spine. Like I said, don't worry about the height. Keep breathing. 2 more. And we're going to hold it up. Breathe. And then control that leg back in and just send the hips back to the bum again. And walk those hands forward. And then coming back up, spin yourself around, and you want your legs in front of you. So we want our feet flat on the floor, knees up to the ceiling, and we're trying to sit up really nice and tall. You want your feet about hip width apart. We're going to go into our core work now. What I will say with this is I would rather you go less challenging on your core but have more control. So normally people get carried away, they like to take themselves really far back, and then the feet and the knees start like gripping the mat and rolling in and out. So I would rather the feet and the knees stay exactly where they are, and we just don't go quite back as far. So you want to hold gently the backs of your thighs. I'm going to take a C curve with our spine. So scooping the stomach muscles to the spine, we're just rounding, taking ourselves back, working into those lower abdominals, and then coming through to a nice straight back. So we come rounding into our nice C curve shape, and then back up to a flat back. Good. So really think about what those feet and knees are doing. You want it to be parallel, not gripping the floor. Good. Really sit up tall in between each one. Notice if that feels hard, if you've got particularly tight hip flexors or you are tight through the spine, which is quite common with a lot of running. Good. Remembering to breathe, take it nice and slow and controlled. Sitting up nice and tall. And last one to finish. Extending the legs in front of us. This next one, if you've got really tight hip flexors, you're going to feel this. But this is quite a good exercise just to, one, see how tight they are and see where our weaknesses are in our hip flexors. So I want you to sit up as nice and tall. This is really hard for runners. You'll see that I am not very good at this. But the idea is we're trying to lift individual legs just off the mat without our back moving behind us. So you can just have your hands by your sides just to like give you that bit of support, but don't rely on them, or try it with your hands there and then without. So we're literally just gonna, you probably can't even see my leg lift and then drop it back down and then on to the other side. Good. So try and do it without the hands on the floor, without the back moving too far backwards. Just a really tiny movement. Good. Give that a go if you need the support, like I said. Lift up, right through the hip, through the head, nice and long. Last one. And then back down and just give yourself a bit of a shake. We're going to do a roll down to take ourselves to the mat. If you need a bit of support with your hands, that's absolutely fine, but we're working to use our core muscles to control us down. So starting nice and tall, rolling through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Really nice and slowly hit each vertebrae. The head is the last thing to hit the mat. And then we're laid down nice and flat. I'm just going to shuffle myself down slightly. Once you get here, just hug those knees to the chest. And we're just going to rock from side to side. And take the knees actually over to one side, extend the hand and look in the opposite direction. And then back through the centre and over to the other side. Just to open up the spine again, stretch out the glutes. And then back through to the centre. I want you to take your legs into a tabletop position, so they want to be in a 90-degree angle and the hands are going up towards the ceiling. Now if you struggle with coordination, maybe just start with the legs, but if you're okay, keeping the head, neck and shoulders on the mat, making sure that back is completely flat and imprinted into the mat, so we're scooping the stomach muscles to the spine. We're just going to extend opposite arm and leg, so keeping that bent leg where it is, and then bring the arm back up, and then extend, exhale as we extend, inhale back to the centre. Good. Really challenging those abdominals. Good, making sure we're breathing, and back. Back to the centre. We've got 2 more each side. Really make sure that back is not lifting off the mat. Good. We're going for our last one. Keeping the legs back in tabletop, bring the arms by the side. I just want you to lift the head, neck and shoulders off the mat, and we're just going to pulse the hands. So really imprint the spine into the mat. Deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. If your neck gets sore, you can put one hand behind the head and then switch over. We are almost there. Last breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And relax. Hug those knees to the chest and just gently rock from side to side, massaging the lower spine. And then we're going to pop the feet on the floor with the knees up to the ceiling. So from here, I just want you to take the right knee, drop it out to the side, keeping the hip bones facing up towards the ceiling and back in. And then the left side. We've got a nice neutral spine here, so you could fit a grape underneath the middle of your back and the mat. Good. Take it out. One more to the other side. and back up to the centre. So we want our feet and knees hip width apart, going up to the ceiling and about this distance from your bum, so not too far. The closer your heels are to your bum, the more you'll feel this in your hamstrings rather than your glutes. So we're going to do a glute bridge. We want to scoop the lower abdominals to the spine, squeeze our bum nice and tight, and we're going to peel the bum up first, and we're going to roll up our spine one vertebra at a time till the weight is in our shoulders and we're in a nice glute bridge. So keep that neck nice and long. You should feel the weight through here, hips are high, and we're squeezing these glute muscles to really protect that lower spine. And then we're going to roll back down the opposite way we came up, so the bum is the last thing to hit the mat. And then we take it back up. Scoop the stomach muscles, peel the spine, one vertebrae at a time, lift, and then slowly roll back down. Good. And take it up. Remembering to breathe here. And back down. Good. Stay with this. Taking it up. We're going to hold it at the top. I want you to take your left arm up near ear. And the idea is that we're not going to drop our hip height. So staying where we are, holding it there, starting to feel it into our hamstrings as well. And then we're just going to rotate our arms. So the other arm comes above the head. My hips are staying exactly where they are. And reach. And reach. Good. Hold it there. Keep breathing. Good. And then bring that left arm back down. And we're going to slowly roll back down the spine. One vertebrae at a time. And then just hug the knees to the chest again. And just rock from side to side. And then place those feet back down. We are not done here yet. So again, just make sure those knees and feet are hip width apart, hands by the side. We're going to take it back up into that glute bridge. Weight in the shoulders, and then we're going to go up the tempo and go halfway down. So we are pulsing. So each time I want you to really squeeze and drive the hips up. Good. Make sure those abdominals are scooped to the spine. Keep breathing. Last 3. We're going to hold it at the top. Now we're going to try to lift our heels up. So weight into the toes. We just lift and down. We don't have many of these. You should feel it into our hamstrings. Good. 4 more. Good. Last 2. Keep those hips where they are. Keep squeezing the glutes. And then gently roll back down the spine. One vertebra at a time. Hug those knees to the chest. And rock from side to side. Really just massage the lower spine. And take a second there. And then we're going to place those feet back down, knees up to the ceiling. And we want to bring the hands behind the head, elbows right out to the side. Now we're essentially going to do a sit-up here, but I want you to think about going up towards the ceiling rather than crunching towards the knees. We still want to lengthen the spine as much as possible and keep that neck nice and long. So scooping the stomach muscles, we lift up as we exhale and inhale, come down. So keep those elbows right out to the side. So we're using our stomach muscles and not momentum to get us up. Exhale, up, and inhale down. Good. Exhale as we come up and down. Good. We're going to add a leg in here. So the right leg is going to come up into that tabletop position and down. and the left. Good, nice 90-degree angle on the leg. Peeling up the spine. One more each side. Last one. Arms back down the side, taking the legs back up into that tabletop position. Lift the arms, head, neck and shoulders, and we pulse. This is our last exercise before we go into a stretch. Breathing in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Good, stay with me. We are nearly there. If you want to make it slightly more challenging, you can extend the legs, and the lower down to the floor, the harder it is. But we want to make sure that back stays flat on the mat, so go with whichever level feels most comfortable for you. Inhale and exhale. Hand can go behind the neck if you need more support. Inhale and exhale. Last 10 seconds. And relax, hugging those knees to the chest, and just gently rock from side to side, massage the lower spine, and then extend the arms and legs away from each other, stretch out. We're going to roll on to our stomachs, hands by the chest. I just want you to lift up slightly just so you feel a nice stretch, and then push back so the bum goes to the heels, and we just walk the hands forward again. Take the arms over towards the right, stretch through that spine, and back through the centre, over to the other side. And back through the centre, and slowly walk them back up. Coming onto our knees, we're just going to finish with a hip flexor stretch. So that right leg comes up, tuck that pelvis under, and you should feel a nice stretch down this side. If you need a bit more, you can take that arm up and just also slightly press forward into it, but making sure that tailbone is tucked. Good. And then we're going to switch over. So that left leg, tucking the tailbone, squeezing this glute. Take the right arm up if you need slightly more, and just press forward into it. Still engaging the stomach muscles. Good. Going to take the hands down by each side of that foot, press it back, step into that high plank position, and then just press back into that downward dog. Pedal through the feet, get into those calf muscles, really stretch it out, and then slowly start to walk the hands back towards the feet, drop the head, take a big inhale, and exhale, and then slowly start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, so the head is the last thing to come up. Coming back into that Pilates posture, just want you to inhale, arms above the head, exhale to come down. 2 more of these. Relax that central nervous system. and relax back down. Give yourself a shake, and well done. I hope you enjoyed that 30-minute Pilates session, and I will see you for the next one.